Good Tuesday morning, guys. My name is Jerry Miller. Welcome to Real Talk. This is an insider's guide to real estate, life, and the pursuit of happiness on the I Love CVille Network. We're live in Charlottesville, the Commonwealth, the country, and the world. We're presented by the Yes Team Realtors. Keith Smith, Casual Keith, this individual morning. I like it. Judah Wickhauer's the director. I think we need to get ready for an impactful program. The man is smiling ear to ear.
I mean, I just can't stop.
Like a Cheshire cat with a sleeve of Ritz crackers and some Cheese Whiz.
I can't stop thinking about this movie, The Greatest Showman. You've got to see it.
I can't wait to see it. Barbara says it's a great movie.
It's a great movie. So, Barbara, who on this set reminds you of?
Hugh Jackman must be Keith Smith.
No, it's not Keith Smith.
Good morning, my friend.
Good morning. I'm doing Casual Keith today. We're doing CK today. The one of the viewers, and I can't remember the young person's name.
Yesterday's show.
Yeah,
said, who was that?
Said, hey, I like Casual Keith. And what they didn't know is I was like in shorts below the.
Yeah, that's the beautiful thing of a Zoom world we live in.
Man, it's something. So, as you set us up, today's a bit of, am I kicking your lines again?
No, we're good. We're good. Today's a big time day.
Yeah, it's a big time day. It is. This is something that has been in the works for a while. And we're happy to announce, Yonna and I, in partnership with Quentin Beckham, are opening up our own little boutique brokerage. And we're going to call it Yes Realty Partners. So I wanted to take a few minutes on this announcement to start off and thank somebody who has been super impactful in our career and our life, and that's Michael Guthrie in Roy Wheeler Realty. We couldn't be doing this without his tutelage, without his patience, without his coaching. This move was all about Yonna and I growing our business, and we're entrepreneurs. I mean, that's how we talk about this on the show all the time, and that's who we are. And we just came across this great opportunity. We're going to sorely miss the team over there at Roy Wheeler, but the way I look at this, the whole real estate industry, it's the reason why we do this show, at least the reason why I do this show, is try to raise the level of all the realtors and what we do in this community. And I kept on thinking on the way in today about our interview with Lisa Sturtevant. And it's really rocked my world since she said that we're second in the state as far as GDP, gross domestic product. How much?
GDP.
Thank you very much. How much cash we actually bring in below the government, which is huge and impactful. And so what we try to do in the show is to raise our industry all up. But we're super excited about it. Our relationships with Roy Wheeler and Michael Guthrie are strong as ever, but this is an opportunity with Quentin Beckham that we can create this new partnership. So we're super excited about it. We chose the words very carefully. Yes, obviously, so everybody will get this out there, so everybody knows that's Yonna's initials.
Yeah, that's right.
But it also stands for yes. It means something. We're can-do people. We're not no. Let's get it done kind of stuff. Our brokerage is going to be get it done. Realty obviously is self-explanatory, but partners was a very strategic word, and I have to take a moment and thank you and your team.
Sure.
Because you guys were instrumental in coming up with this logo and coming up with this name, and we kind of drove you nuts a little bit.
No, it was great. We enjoyed the process.
Right. But partners, it means a very specific thing, and whatever team members that we may bring on at the real estate level, the realtor level, they're going to be our partners. We're going to act as partners, but more so, we act as partners and with our buyers and our sellers. We're in this together. We talk about this on the show all the time. This is purely relational. This isn't about money. This isn't about what our commissions is, and in our line of work. What we do, which again just blows my mind, is second in the state. It's just a huge number.
From an output standpoint behind the government, according to Lisa Sturtevant, the chief economist for Virginia Realtors.
That's exactly right.
The real estate industry.
And I would never doubt her.
No, yeah. Why would you?
Not without a doubt. But the reality of it is it comes in two kind of flavors. This is not a transactional business, even though there's transactions is part of it, is the result of it, but it's all about relationships. It's all about what you guys build here, what we've been trying to build here for the last 2 years by wonderful people like Barbara, all these folks that take their time to listen live, and then you shared numbers with me what it does. In this evergreen format,
right?
It's honor. It's just flattering to do it. So, this is a bit of a soft open. We're not officially able to really conduct business under that brokerage name yet, because we're waiting on stuff to come back from our friends at DPOR, which is the state regulatory agency. But we felt this was a great time to start it. We're kind of doing a little soft rollout in December, and hopefully by the end of December we get the licenses and we can turn our marketing department loose.
Chris Jensen says, congratulations to Yes
Thanks,
Realty Partners.
Thank you.
If you're just turning into the show, Yes Realty Partners, a boutique brokerage. Keith and Yonna Smith in partnership with Quentin Beckham.
Correct.
A partnership with Keller Williams Alliance. Andre Xavier is giving you some love now.
Thank you,
The
Andre.
word is getting out, Keith Smith.
Yeah, well, as
Crystal Napier, welcome to the show.
Yeah, as you know, I don't take kudos very well. This is difficult for me.
Give Keith Smith props.
Yeah, this is difficult for us, but this is we feel really strong about this. We want to bring our own little way that we conduct business, which again, other brokerages, other real estate agencies do a great job. We're just going to do it a little bit differently on that end of it, and so we're just excited about it. We're excited about releasing it. We're excited about, to be honest with you, turning you loose.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes Realty Partners.
Yeah.
Very excited for the new company. What can we expect?
Well, that's a great question. What we can expect is kind of what we've always been doing, right? And again, I use relationship stuff, but this is going to be relationship building stuff. At the end of the day, we're going to bring on the technology powerhouse of Keller Williams, but we're going to twist it around a little bit and use our relational building style that we do. So we're going to marry what we do very well, which is the relational side of things, with Keller Williams, which they have these awesome technologies, and that's where we're coming together with this hybrid, right? It's in my opinion, I may be wrong, but the Zillows of the world, all this high-tech stuff is going to be okay, but it's never going to really be able to do what I just had to do this morning. I was late showing up, right? We didn't hit our pre-production meeting because we were on the phone with one of our sponsors, which is Bill Tucker and Charlottesville Settlement, trying to work out an issue on a closing. Actually, work out an issue on something that's already closed, and trying to get our client happy because, and I won't get into the details, but there were some issues with the closing on the other side. So what the issues in high level was the closing agent on the other side made an error in the closing documents, and we caught it post-closing, and we spent an hour on the phone with our client, the relationships that we've established with Bill Tucker and Charlottesville Settlement, and we worked it out to everybody's settlement. So everybody's, not settlement, that's not the right word, satisfaction, thank you. Satisfaction, but this was after the closing. This was 2 months after our closing. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to bring this relational, bear with you on it, bring on agents that think the same way, feel the same way, but also bring in this technology. Because let's face it, who's the buyer profile now for the future?
Millennials.
And Gen
Me.
Z. And Gen Z.
Us.
You guys, that's exactly right. Projected to be somewhere around 80% of the market. So we got to bring in both styles, both thinking into it. It's never going to be, in my opinion, it's never going to be a transaction 100% off of an iPhone 12. I'm looking at.
You have, so the word's out now. You have 6 individual real estate firms watching the show. Andre Xavier, again, emphasizing the excitement here. The Barbara says she's happy for you. Johnny says, bravo, my friends.
We stopped by on the way down. Kudos to him. We stopped by. We talked about this on the call-in you did, and I just want to give another shout out to them. We had some tacos up in Connecticut.
Yeah.
Man, just not even in the same world.
El Mariachi, Zion's Crossroads, one of the best of the best. Quentin Beckham watching the show now.
Hey, Quentin.
The news, if you're watching, Yes Realty Partners, the new boutique brokerage that I know is going to positively impact Charlottesville and Central Virginia. I'm excited. I know you're excited.
This is my excited face.
I know you're excited.
You're
eager. You're anticipating. You're ready for the
yeah,
paperwork. It's the red tape. We need some green tape.
Oh man,
does that
sound familiar?
Right?
Yeah, absolutely. And we're going to actually talk about this a little bit on the back end of the show after we chat with our friend Christopher Eagle. I was watching the show we did with Robert Liberty back in August.
It's a great show.
Great show, but this was on this residential infill project, which was, I'm just going to sidetrack here, for the land trust, right? And it didn't dawn on me until I watched it yesterday, just to try to get prepped for today. We meaning the land trust, haven't even submitted the application, and I've been on it for 6 months. We haven't even submitted the application to the city for this project on 10th and West. Haven't even submitted it yet. And we're probably 2 months away from that. And then we got to go through a rezoning, there's going to be a special use process and the site plan process. We're probably not going to put a shovel in the ground. We'll probably be talking about
2022.
We probably will be talking about this time next year.
Yeah.
And it's just wrong.
That is wrong.
It's just flat out wrong.
Right.
But yeah, we're super excited. The partnership couldn't be any better. Quentin's going to be a great guy to work with.
Quentin's watching. Marina Ringstrom's watching.
Hey, Marina, how are you?
Jeff, hello. Gaffney, hello.
Hello, Jeff.
Watching the show.
Yeah.
Real estate agents, the news is this. Yes, Realty Partners, new boutique brokerage hitting Charlottesville and Central Virginia, getting the I's dotted and the T's crossed as we speak.
We are.
A partnership with the esteemed Quentin Beckham and Keller Williams Alliance.
So
the esteemed.
So when I meet with him this afternoon at 3:00, I have to say I have to bow. We've been watching The Crown.
So good.
Isn't that awesome?
So good. Have you seen Queen's Gambit?
We binged that too.
Yeah, it's so good. Over 60 million unique streams on Queen's Gambit.
I would say, personally, I like that way better than The Crown.
Queen's Gambit.
Oh yeah.
I could not stop watching.
Without a doubt.
It was, and I'm not even like a chess freak.
Well, it's interesting what the chess boards are flying off the show.
Right. Because of Queen's Gambit.
There you go.
It was like the next version of Searching for Bobby Fischer. Remember that movie?
Yeah, I was thinking of what was the video game that was big? The
Judah, jump in here on this conversation.
Not the video game, but what's the Pokemon thing?
Okay, I don't know what he's talking about.
Didn't they do like a Pokemon thing? Find Pokemon.
But how's that tied to chess?
I have no idea.
Okay, all right. Yeah, that was the craze for like a month where people were going around towns and looking for Pokemon on their phones, and they were like walking into traffic.
That's
in front of cars.
Yeah. That was Smith's ADD kicking in.
Okay, well, that's why we like you and we watch the show. The news, if you're tuning in, Yes Realty Partners, new boutique brokerage, is going to absolutely have an incredible 2022, an incredible 2021. I'm reaching out to Christopher Eagle.
Yeah, I'm excited.
We have him on the line. So, Chris, we love you on this network. I'm going to turn you around to Keith Smith in a matter of moments. Keith, I know, is a humble man. So I'm going to go ahead and ask this question. What do you make of that news with the Yes Realty brokerage, the Yes Realty Partners coming to fruition? The show is yours, Christopher Eagle.
Don't do that to Christopher.
I mean, it's awesome. It's cool. It's a great thing for Keith and Yonna to do what they're going to do and to bring their own style, their own brand to how they can bring it inside Central Virginia real estate. So I mean, it's awesome. Congrats, and I hope it can take off like a rocket for you.
We're going to try. I like that style and brand. I'm going to steal that from you. I was struggling on what to say. So both of us are casual Chris, casual Keith Dave. We didn't even we didn't even do the memo thing, right? This is the first.
We didn't talk about clothes at all.
Yeah, well, we should, but that's a different issue because you're a very sharp dressed young man. But this is the first show in 2 years I'm not wearing a jacket.
Yeah.
And a collared shirt.
Right.
First time in 2 years.
You've given a lot of advice to people. I think you said this to Matt Neese. You said always wear a jacket. Did you not say that to the man?
I did.
Yeah. Someone
did.
tagged Matt Neese on the stream here.
Yeah. Well, I just felt like casual Keith Day today. That's it. So that's what we got to do. So Christopher, we're running kind of a series here. We'll get into the question a little bit later, starting in December, talking about how we can open up inventory, right? And everybody has been saying inventory is extremely tight, and this is why maybe the market may end up slowing down a little bit because of inventory. But before we get to that question, tell us a little bit about yourself, brother. And before you do that, congratulations on recently getting married.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So tell us about yourself, man.
So recently married back in October. So I'm, I guess, 6 weeks in type of thing. So marriage is awesome. Definitely loving it so far. My wife is amazing, beautiful. Couldn't ask for anything better.
Christopher, can I say something to you?
Go for it.
You, and this is props to Christopher Eagle, you outkicked your coverage, homie. She is beautiful.
I married up, man.
Yes, you did, Christopher Eagle.
The three of us on this Skype call definitely married.
We outkicked our coverage.
We married up, brother. and I can tell you the secret of 35 years of marriage is we say ABC is always be closing, but really what it is, always be communicating.
Oh, I thought it was always say whatever you want, babe.
No, always be communicating. Okay. Always communicate with your partner. Sometimes if it's uncomfortable or unpleasant, like the conversation I had this morning at our 3-mile walk with my lovely wife, she reminded me of something, and I said, "Yes, ma'am," and I did it. But so tell us about yourself, man.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, other than just getting married, I'm a product of Charlottesville, born and raised here. Stone Robinson, Burley, Monticello High School. I left Charlottesville to go to college. I'm a graduate of Ohio University. So that's my alma mater there. Definitely bleed green and white, even though we're not known for sports. We're known for other activities.
Whoa. We need to define.
He's talking about boozing and partying is what he's talking about.
And then other than that, man, I just, I'm a guy that I keep things kind of simple and plain. I like to have fun, like to lay back. I'm definitely a huge I'd say if you don't see me doing anything with real estate, then you most likely will find me in the gym. And if you don't find me in the gym, I might be running or, preparing for Spartan race or a half marathon. I haven't done a marathon for a couple of years, so I don't know if I'll tie those shoes back on again. And then other than that, I think, I'm a huge foodie too. So you might find me at some of the restaurants around Charlottesville, eating some good food. And, other than that, it's just hanging out with family, hanging out with friends, enjoying some, just good times. Or you'll find me at church. That's the other thing too. So
good for you. So other than a few decades difference, I'm thinking.
You guys have a lot in common.
We have a lot in common.
Yeah.
So I'm a recovering runner.
Okay.
Used to run a couple of fulls a year and about a half a dozen halves. So we'll talk offline. All I can tell you is be kind to your hips and your legs, because when you get almost 60, you switch to biking.
Yeah, you ride your bicycle.
You switch to biking is what you do. But it's it's a hard thing. So be kind to your hips and be kind to your knees and be kind to your legs. So what was your degree in Ohio University?
I have a degree in photography with a minor in business.
Nice.
Wow. Cool.
That's perfect for real estate.
Man, I was just going to ask you. So So how did you migrate from that to real estate? And it sure sounds like your degrees helped you there.
It's long story short. So Rob Garland, who actually shot my wedding photos, is a teacher at Monticello, and he is kind of one of the people that I learned from photography. So I guess had some talent in me that I didn't know about. So that stemmed the whole love of photography, which then turned into having a partial scholarship to go to Ohio University for photography. And then through that, kind of just growing up and as a teenager, I sort of had two options from my mom. It was either you go into the military or you go into college.
Wow.
I was actually very much drawn into the military, but I pulled back and decided to get a degree before going in. I was trying to line everything up to actually go into the Marine Corps as an officer. Halfway through college, I got stung by a hornet. Full body reaction, rushed to the emergency room, found out I'm extremely allergic to 4 of the 5 most common bees in Virginia. So that kind of automatically eliminated me. So with that, I chased law enforcement for a while, and that didn't pan out either. So I graduated, came back to Charlottesville, just kind of worked a job. I had actually worked construction kind of in high school, and then all throughout college I worked it. So I always liked houses and understood, how they're built, how they're made, and what goes into it. And looking down the road in the future, I always liked the idea of trying to flip them or renovate them. And then I kind of got the inkling of like, well, why don't I learn real estate from the realtor perspective? Not understanding a single thing that goes into actually being a realtor. But I realized like I should know that if I actually want to try and do that in the future. So I sort of took the classes, jumped in head first, legitimately did not think much about it. And then that's just what happened. So 4 years later, this is where I'm sitting right now. So that's the long story short.
Dude, there's a lot of similarities with what you've been going through, right?
I was literally thinking that, tall, handsome, good
Oh,
looking.
stop it. You're so full of the doo-doo.
Tall, handsome, good looking, dresses well. I don't know. This may be a clone. I don't know.
Smith, get the camera off of Smith, Judah.
Yeah, I'm on my roll now. No coffee. Notice no
I
coffee.
know.
No coffee today.
All you have to do is announce a new brokerage and you come out strong,
I
right?
got
From day one.
So we're 4 years in, right? So tell me, how's it going for you? Are you happy? This was a good decision? I know the whole feeling about jumping in and doing it, because we just literally jumping in to do our own brokerage, where, to be honest, during a pandemic
when inventory is at pinch levels,
oh geez, thanks.
I'm just saying.
But when we're covering developers and builders, and we had multiple companies, and we kind of swore we would never open up our own company again, right? But the reality of it is the 3 of us on this call, Quentin Beckham, some of the folks, we're just wired that way, right? We're wired to be entrepreneurs.
I mean, Christopher is that.
Yeah,
he's the CEO of Christopher Eagle Real Estate.
There you go. Absolutely. So tell me how business is going for you.
I guess, it's a hard question because, ending year 3, so ending 2019, the projections for 2020 seemed really, really good. And then 2020 personally started off pretty decently. So I was excited for 2020, right? I proposed 2 weeks into 2020. So like January 13th, I proposed, we got engaged. And then of course we knew that we would try and get married somewhat fast. So it was kind of like, awesome, I'm engaged. We're going to plan a wedding. Real estate seeming really awesome. And then I hopped a plane. I flew down to Mexico the first or second week of March on a missions trip with the Point Church. And then we're down there and people are freaking out about buying toilet paper and we didn't understand it. And then we come back home and it's like, everybody stay at home. Don't leave your house. There's this crazy virus. And I was like, this is kind of weird. And then that's when I would say for me, things changed, not only for me, but everybody in the real estate game. Everything kind of changed. So that was like where a lot of my numbers kind of went like goodbye, because I watched a lot of clients push the pause button. They were like, nah, we ain't doing anything right now. So outside of the pandemic, I love real estate. I love being able to connect with people. I love just being able to serve people and help people in the best way possible. I tell people now, at this point, I don't know what else I would do if I was not in real estate. I don't think I could work a 9-to-5 job anymore or go into an office type of thing. I love what I'm doing. And, if I get to help people every day, then I think that's the end goal, I think.
That was beautiful.
So I got out of the Marine Corps in 1986. I've never worked for anybody but ourselves since 1986.
Right.
And it's exciting. It's great. It's scary. You know, when things take a you-know-what, you get caught up in it, but then you brush yourself off and you do it again. I've never worked for anybody but ourselves. My whole career. So my hat's off to you. So it was interesting. We Jerry and I called this in March that we thought this was going to be a V recovery, and it turned out to be a V. I think it's going to change a little bit to a K recovery.
Yeah.
The reason I think it's going to change to a K recovery, you may see this backwards, but to explain what a K recovery is, you know, you basically it's an inverted V, but then we're going to take a bit of a dip again before we go back up again. And I think that's solely, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on this, solely on the lack of inventory. It's not out of the lack of buyers or qualified buyers or the interest rates. All that stuff is chumming along, but there's inventory. So how, you know, you're in the business for 4 years. You're an exciting, dynamic guy. How do we fix this, in your opinion? What's our solution?
Well, I mean, you know, simple. The solution is getting more houses to sell. But
Sure.
I think, you know, the deeper dive into that is, I really think that we have to somehow build a little bit of the consumer confidence, and that's not the confidence on the buyer side. It's definitely the confidence on the seller side. And I think, you know, you sort of, maybe you throw the numbers or the statistics at them, or maybe you don't. But I think in order to make people understand that, like, it's a good time to sell, you know, from one perspective, right, interest rates are still ridiculously low. Fantastic time for buyers to buy, and you mentioned it. There's a gigantic pool of buyers, and I think one thing to help sellers potentially would say, it's that I would argue that a majority, if not almost all of the buyers that are out there right now are probably well qualified.
Sure.
And they're ready to buy.
I agree.
And with that, I think the other thing to look at too is that through 2020, in a global pandemic, we didn't see prices drop at all.
They went up.
Yeah, they went up. And then the other thing we're facing too is that a lot of these houses are coming on the market and they're getting multiple offers within a day, couple days of being on the market, and then potentially going over asking price. So I guess my argument for somebody that's talking about selling is why not be the next person that gets the same advantage to it? And then I think I was reading Yoon with the NAR, the lead economist. I think he's predicting just a national average of a 3% increase in the price of homes for 2021.
That's healthy. That's good.
Yeah. So, I mean, the way that I see that, too, is for the next person or the people that are questioning selling or that maybe should sell, why not, you know, why not get your hot dog on a stick and put it in the fire and then get that thing cooking and get it cold? I don't
Really?
That was hilarious.
That's the mind.
I got to write that down.
Keith is going to steal that.
I'm going to steal that. Hot dog on stick.
Put the hot dog
Fire.
on the stick and get it in the fire, Keith.
I was thinking a little higher level,
That was great.
but that's kind of explains it.
yeah, that explains
Hot dog on a stick.
That's the mind of Christopher Eagle, man. There's no telling what's going to come out. So.
Oh, great. Nice interview. Bye-bye. So Yonna and I were talking about this on our walk this morning, and you know, one of the questions that the statements we would make to a seller is look, you know, if you're ready to make this move or thinking about contemplating this move, right? Now is the perfect time because the pool is so shallow. Right? The Lake Monticello, because we're going to talk about this after we wrap up chatting with you, Lake Monticello has 19 homes on the market.
That's nuts.
As of this morning.
Out of how many?
19, I don't think any of those, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think any of those right now are under 200,000. There may be one. I know there's a foreclosure that came on last week.
You are spot on. There's one at $197,927,000. That's
a foreclosure.
That would be more than likely. I don't have the details on it, but I would suspect it's a foreclosure. Or do you know for a fact it's a foreclosure?
Yes, because I showed it last week. So yeah.
Got it. There you go.
There you go.
Thank you for schooling us.
Yeah, Christopher Eagle, the man lives in the neighborhood over here.
Yeah, nice job, buddy. I literally lived like 3 blocks from that. Thanks for making me look bad. But the pool is so low, right? So if you're ready to put the house on the market, then do it. You know, I preach these, always have been preaching what I call the 4 rights, right? Right location, right price, right features, and right conditions. And, you know, right now, Lake Monticello is the right location. The price point is the right price point. The right, you know, it might have the right features. What's usually getting you caught up on homes sitting on the market for longer than what is normal today is usually your features and your conditions, right?
Especially at that price point.
At that price point,
yeah.
That's exactly right. Yeah, because you just don't have enough capital,
sure,
to jazz it up. So that
he's basically saying this is an entry price point, and when people buy this home at the entry price point, they don't have leftover money to make renovations to the home. That's why the home is not selling.
Well, secondly, and we'll talk about later on the show. Secondly, let's say you buy that home for $197, and let's say it needs $100,000 or $50,000 worth of work. We'll make my life simple. We'll call it $200,000, and you got to put $50,000 into it.
So it takes it to $250,000.
You're now kind of pricing yourself out of the market a little bit for that particular house, and that's where the struggle becomes. But you know, we get this question asked all the time, and I'd love to hear it from a young,
from Christopher,
dynamic agent in the thing. You know, where am I going to go? So Keith and Yonna Smith, prime example. We'll let you in a little family dispute in front of all these folks. Yonna wants to sell the house. I want to stay. My argument is where we're going to go.
I was talking about this with my boy, and Christopher may know this guy, with my boy Lonnie Conley yesterday at ACAC. He's like, I have substantial equity in my home. We want something else. We got kids and a family, but where the heck are we going to go?
What was that name again?
Lonnie. You said I could sell my home in a minute. Christopher, what do you make of this topic?
It's for sure the going topic. So my parents are in the same boat. They're looking at wanting to sell their house and potentially find the next house that is the retirement home. It gives them everything they're looking for. And my dad is very much let me do 5 more things at the house. We get it on the market. The market's hot. Let's sell it. And then my mom is the other side going, where are we going to go? Like, we have nowhere to go. And then I try to direct all of my clients the same way that I would say direct my parents as well as anybody in my family.
Great
and I said the same thing to both of them. I said, yes, right now is a fantastic time to sell, but the issue you face is that you have nowhere to go. And for them, and not all sellers have this ability, but I told them that if you can wait just a little bit, you know, let's look to see what the market is bringing. And then like I said, some people can't afford to do it, but you know, I told them from their standpoint, it is most likely better for them to find the next home, purchase it, close on it, and move into it, and then put the old home on the market. And you should see the same results you're getting right now.
So that's going to be, I respect that, but that's going to be a difficult path for a lot of people.
Sure.
Because a lot of people have to do the domino to climb up.
So what I heard here was not that.
Oh, what did you hear?
What I heard was go back to why Zillow and these apps can't do what we, Christopher, Yonna, and all the other real estate agents that are watching today is you have to invest time in your seller, and that's what Christopher did. It's happened to be his parents, but he tells the same thing. Understand their circumstances, understand what they're trying to achieve, right? And what their goals are. An app isn't going to do that for you.
Sure.
So, you know, it's a great tool. It can help you do your searches and all that stuff. But to add a little bit to that, Lisa and Yoon, both very much.
Dr. Sturtevant, Dr. Hune.
Thank you. Predict, and I agree to this, and this is why we tell our sellers now, hey, look, if we can figure out together the where you're going to go, now it's time to put it on the market, right? Mm-hmm. Because starting in January, you're going to, early first quarter, you're going to start that inventory climbing. It's just going to climb.
For sure. More competition.
which is kind of a balance, right? So as more inventory is coming up, then the seller goes, okay, I've got more options to buy. Then that whole need of having to buy something else changes a little bit. There's another caveat here, which is what we're dealing with right now. Is I'm selling Jerry's house, and we do have a contract to go someplace else. Making that timing work is a bit of a struggle on how that.
Well, I think part of that too, though, especially in this market. So if you have a seller that needs to sell their house in order to buy the next house, it's in some regards, if you are fighting multiple offers, it's becoming a caveat for that buyer, because that's one more contingency built into that offer compared to the other offers on the table. So that also is a little bit tough too. So I mean, I've seen it a couple times recently where people are selling one house to buy the next house, but depending on the type of deal and how the whole thing's going, it may not benefit that seller to take that deal if there is that contingency to have to sell their house. Because
you're basically saying it's a multiple offer situation, and one of the offers may not have the contingency, so why would they wait 60 to 90 days for the new buyer to sell their house?
That's exactly right. But there's other factors in that too, right? They could be offering more money.
Yeah, top dollar with the contingency, right?
They could or some different offsetting things, and we've been very successful with these contingencies on selling houses.
The domino deals.
Well, to get the seller to accept it of the seller, because what you have to do is then you present to Christopher, he's on the other side, is look, this is our data, this is the house we're selling, we're projected on the market. So he representing the seller, buys into that. But also these personal letters make a huge difference. I really believe that they do, because not necessarily selling a house is all about the numbers, right? Mm-hmm. So Keith and Yonna's been in the house for 20-something years, raised both of our children in this house. I want somebody to love that house as much as me. I also want top dollar.
Sure.
But but I may decide to go with somebody that feels a little bit better and give somebody an opportunity. Maybe that's just the way I'm wired, but we do see that from time to time. And it goes back to why I keep on saying why Zillow and Trulier and all these apps won't do it, because the agent, Christopher, all the other agents watching the feed have to do their homework, have to find out what's their why. What's the why for the seller? What's the why for the buyer? And that's the magic's in the middle there on that stuff.
Let me throw this to you. Quentin Beckham has this for you, Christopher Eagle. Quentin Beckham says, Keller Williams, you are now looking at an extreme seller's market. The pendulum must swing back towards the middle in some fashion, and that will loosen up inventory. The only positive outside factor on this will be new builds or new construction. Christopher Eagle, anywhere you want to go on that topic?
Oh, I mean, I definitely agree with that. I mean, that's the quickest way to get more inventory is by building. But I think, as we've seen, in the last, I don't know how many months, but prices of materials has gone up some and all that stuff. And I haven't done that much research into the new construction realm to see how much of the cost would increase or has increased because of that. But, does that outprice some people? Potentially, based off of if the price of new construction is going to go up. But I think the one thing with new construction is it depends on, I guess, where the build process is too, for some people. So if you're a buyer and you need to buy right now because you're moving to Charlottesville for a job, or, your family situation is causing you to have to buy something, then you don't have 2, 3, 4, 5 months to wait for a new construction to be built. So that's the only thing. I mean,
Why are you not pitching this path and shoot it down, pick it apart like Thanksgiving turkey, okay? Are you ready? You can sell your home now for top dollar. Go rent for a year. And when your lease is done, you can find more inventory on the market. You can buy a house that's your dream home. You can maybe do new construction and build. Or you just take that 12 months to get your ducks in a row and then move to the next place. Why not pitch that path?
Because we are pitching it and we are doing it. I've got 4.
That's great, right?
I have 4 buyers that are moving out of the Northeast down here.
And they're renting.
and we've found them rentals, and but their buyer profile, Christopher, you disagree with me if you like, that buyer profile's not this entry level 250.
Yeah, they have bank.
Right.
They just sold their crib up north.
So we're new construction, is running about $200 a square foot these days, on a custom side, on the Stanley Martin or those kind of production.
So you're saying they're 515 and up. They're jumbo. They're looking at 6, 7 higher.
Way higher than that.
Okay.
Yeah, so you're between your 5 and mill.
Okay. So what are they looking at? Whittington?
Oh, they're all over the map, and that's so now you got the other struggle, right? You've got the struggle of now I've got 4 clients I'm trying to do. I can't find them lots.
Of course. I mean, Oak Hill sold out. Whittington sold out. I mean, where do you go?
And then builders, the custom guys, are out pretty much 2021. They're already looking at 2022.
So they have to rent.
So that's what they'll do. That's what we're doing with our clients. We're renting them, and we're concurrently looking. We're looking at existing, watch the inventory come in, watch new construction. So we're exploring both simultaneously.
Now, the devil's advocate to that is
moving twice.
Yeah, you're moving twice, cost of moving twice, and on top of that, you're eroding some of your profit margin by 12 months of a lease.
And Christopher, you may be seeing the same thing. We're also seeing move-up buyers, right? Folks that are selling something at Lake Monticello, maybe they've cashed out, have a 6-figure net equity or something like that, and they are renting, and they're waiting for Stanley Martin to finish a house. We just closed a couple of them, or Ryan Homes or whatever, in some subdivisions. Actually, around Lake Monticello, we just closed 2 of them at the subdivision Ryan is doing out there across from the main gate. So they sold a house. We found them a short-term rental, and they just moved into that house. But we have to think outside the box. And Quentin's 100% right. I know a little bit about new construction, Christopher. It's kind of what I did for decades.
Yeah, that's your background.
But the process is, we talked about this in the lead into the show. It just takes forever to do that. To get permits, to get lots produced, to create that inventory, and we have to figure out a way to get that red tape into green tape and move forward.
Andre's watching. I'm happy and thankful to buy my house, get my house in Cascadia when I did 2 years ago.
Sure.
I feel the same way about mine in March. March 28th was our closing date. Now with this ridiculous pinch, Christopher, what do you say 2021 is going to look like? What do you, and do it in like this part, the first quarter, the second quarter, and then the back half of the year. Q1, Q2, and then the back half, Christopher.
I think Q1, sort of like Keith mentioned a little bit, I think you're going to see an increase in inventory. I don't know how much of an increase, but I think you're definitely going to start to see more people come on. And I would argue that at least through this quarter or quarter 4 of 2020, I mean, I don't know that it's very much slowed down at all in the aspect of, buyers chasing houses and some houses coming on the market. So I think we're going to keep seeing this trend through the first quarter. I think we're going to see more stuff come on. And I think you're just going to have all the buyers that did not find what they wanted in 2020 come back around into 2021 and really start to see what comes on the market. I think quarter 2 is going to be, I think it's going to be a good quarter as long as everything is going well. I mean, I think the only caveat would be what happens if they decide to shut things down again. Sure. And I know there's been talks of all that stuff, so that's kind of a different conversation. But as long as everything stays on the trend we've stayed on, I think quarter 2 is going to look really good. And then I don't know if we're going to balance out just yet next year with the seller's market. I think it's still going to take another year to 2-ish, maybe a little bit more, for everything to kind of balance back out for a pretty good steady market. But I think we'll see more people have a lot more confidence to bring their houses on the market. I think you'll still see a ton more buyers come back out. And I think you're going to only see the increase, like you guys mentioned before I came on, with the millennial generation and then the generation after me. I don't know what that one's called. For them to kind of hop into this buyer pool as well. So I think you'll see a lot more of that happening. And then quarter 3, I mean, I think, what is that? That's going to end. That'll be your fall market. I think you'll see a pretty solid fall market. And then maybe next winter is maybe more like a normal winter with things calming down a little bit. But I don't know. It's hard to make predictions, man. It's super hard.
Well, we do that regularly here, but usually it's wrapped around a bet around a
Right.
bottle of bourbon.
And also with the caveat, anything can happen.
Anything can
Or
happen.
for the sake of a talk show.
For the sake of a short show. But just to look at some quick numbers, right? So I ran 2020 1-1 to today. Days on market, 15, median, 15.
Jeez.
2019, 34. 2018, 38.
That's ridiculous. That's crazy.
So depending on who you talk to, right, a balance, where the market switches from a seller's market to a buyer's market, some people say 6 months. My
6 months of inventory.
6 months these
Of
days
DOM.
are DOMs, right? I don't agree with that. I think it's 90 days.
Yeah,
when
6 months.
you start hitting 90 days, so what's going to happen here, and this is a number that I follow closely, when those DOMs start getting back up to these 30s, 40s, and 60s,
Buyer's market.
that means there's going to be more inventory on the market. The buyers are going to be in a little bit better position to go ahead and do that. And your mom and dad will say, okay, Christopher, put my house on the market. Or your mom will say, put your house on the market. I found a place to go. Dad's ready. And my house is the opposite, but Dad's ready. That's ready to go. So that's the number I track closely, is the days on market from my perspective on that end of it. And that's just Lake Monticello. That's not the whole region. So I told you I was only going to keep you for 15 minutes. I lied to you.
Christopher's good. You're good in this format, Christopher.
We're way over.
Okay. It's okay.
Anything you'd like to close with before we sign you off?
I don't know, man. Topic. I think the other thing sellers need to be prepared for, and this is more of selling the house, but definitely just be prepared for that millennial generation to really start coming through. And then a part of that would be the next generation, whatever the crap they're called. I'm not sure. I don't know what their title is, but my wife is one of them, so I'm not sure what they are called. But yeah, I just
Perfect.
say like
They're called perfect. That's the answer.
Perfect buyer.
Perfect.
Just it's an interesting thing where they're going to be looking at houses solely from a telephone or a laptop and the internet. There's no newspapers. That's not a thing anymore.
Yeah.
So
I'm going to disagree with you a little bit on that. So we've done roughly 60 transactions, something like that this year. Well over 50% of them, I can't tell you the exact number, are millennials. Young millennials, they broke millennials into two categories now. I will tell you, every single one of those buyers, they start on this, right?
Absolutely.
But every single one of those buyers, after a certain period of time, and it's different for each buyer, they put the phone down and they look at you and they say, please guide me. So that's what we really do. We're really guides. We're really educators in this process. And inevitably, they'll never pick that phone up again without asking you. And that's what millennials want. They're brand oriented, very much so. They want to be spoken to in the way that they like to be spoken to. But at the end of the day, they're looking to be guided through this process. So, I firmly believe technology is a great tool, but it's a tool. At the end of the day, it requires skill to help that millennial.
Well said.
What millennial or any buyer or any seller for that matter to get through that requires skill. So, Christopher, thank you for your time. Thank you for allowing me to take way more than 15 minutes.
Yeah, Christopher, you're great, man.
It's all good, man. It's all good.
Have a good one.
You have a good one, Christopher. Thank you for joining us.
You're welcome. Thank y'all.
All right, great guy right there. Christopher Eagle, guys, Real Estate 3. Thank you for joining us on the program. Keith Smith, my friend.
Yeah.
Great interview.
Great interview. We're going to start doing this through the month of December. We're going to sweet talk or convince agents to come on from different brokerages, different.
I think it's a good idea, my friend.
And talk a little bit about that and try to focus on this one question. Okay, what about inventory? How can we do it? Quentin mentioned new construction. Okay, how do we do that? How do we actually get that done in short order? Which I'm not so sure there's an answer to. It's easy to say, turn green tape, excuse me, that was a Freudian slip, red tape into green tape. But But how do you do that? Right, and I sit on commissions and boards to try to talk about that, and it is extremely difficult to do.
This from Stephen Peters. Best marriages have the following similarity. Each person thinks they married above their pay grade.
Oh, without doubt.
Stephen Peters. Justine Montgomery, your colleague. I wrote a personal letter to the seller of the home I bought in Vermont, and she hung in there with me when I needed to extend contingencies. It made the difference.
Oh, without doubt. Hey, Christine, how you doing
I
up
think
there?
you were a part of that.
A little bit.
Keith, this is from Barbara. Keith, when you own the company now, you can wear whatever you want as long as it's not tights.
Oh, jeez. Come on now. We looked pretty good.
You pulled it off well. I think
pulled
she's saying that tongue in cheek right there. So we head into this year. You have clients that are going the path of selling the home in the Northeast, renting for a little bit as inventory comes back on the market. We hear from agents, we hear from economists, we hear from Quentin, from Michael, from you. 2021 is going to be great from a pricing standpoint. Everybody is uncertain with what's going to be on there for a for sale standpoint.
Agreed. What is the inventory going to look like? And I don't have a magic answer. You know, the only answer I know is no matter what happens, you got to hit those 4 rights. Right location, right price, right features, and right conditions. And you have to do the homework, which again, I keep on talking about this, but that Zillow app isn't going to do this. And, you know, if there's a home that's for sale at Lake Monticello and it's $300,000, just to pick a number, and you have to go ahead and do $50,000 worth of work, it's not going to sell because nobody's going to do it. The median sales price for this year at Lake Monticello is $225,000. You want to guess what last year was?
What?
$222,000. Wasn't that much different? Like 1.4% difference on it. But in 2018, it was $214,000. So it's jumped up roughly $10,000 in 24 months. In that end, so that's what, 5%? Roughly 5%. So the thing is if you're going to buy something and it needs a little bit of work and you're going to put money in it, and we're averaging, I think when the year's over, it's probably going to be somewhere between a 2 to 3%, because this is only up until October's numbers. You know, I think you're going to see that 3% average, which Christopher was talking about and Yoon talks about, and that's pretty consistent. That 3 to 5% year over year. That's a realistic and very healthy growth. So if you're going to buy something, right, that needs $50,000 in it, you're going to have to make sure you got the time in it to get it back on that end of it.
Does the attached inventory, townhomes and condos come into play here at all? Can it help solve the conundrum?
Yes and no.
Okay. The attached inventory is a bit vulnerable right now with the pandemic.
So we have to define attached. So you're referring to townhomes?
Townhomes or condos?
Yeah, condo, but 2 very different animals.
Sure, yeah.
So,
townhome, you own the land.
Correct. So townhomes are considered I consider them residential. And the numbers I looked at Lake Monticello, because there really is no attached, is only detached homes. So you'll see, if we look at the numbers a little harder, the townhome market is increasing because there's a little bit more of them.
Exactly.
They're a little bit more price part of it. But the reality of it is very simple. We need to increase density. We need to increase inventory. I want to go back to the land trust, right, and what we're trying to do on 10th and West, right? We're trying to take a lot that's designed for 1, and we're going to put this many, 5 on it.
5.
This many. I am a Marine, you know. Anything over 3 gets a little complicated. So. But that has to be done on a quicker scale, because what's going to happen by the time we'll always do well with it on the land trust, but if you and I were doing this as a development project on the market rate, a year and a half from now, by the time we actually get ready to sell it, who the hell knows what the market's going to be like? That's the struggle.
I don't see, and I'm not trying to be a negative Nancy here, I don't see in the next 12 to 24 months the dynamics in this market changing. I see
I don't disagree with you about that.
Outside employers are bringing in heavy hitters with big time paychecks.
Yep.
We got a little bit of pressure, whether we would, what level of that pressure is yet to be determined with people moving here because of the pandemic. An employer like Dexcom is bringing people in here with good salaries. I just don't see this being solved anytime soon.
I don't disagree with you, and so what's going to happen is we're going to do our famous drive to the
it's just going to be Waynesboro. It's going to make Waynesboro more popular. It's going to make Greene. It's going to make Fluvanna. It's going to make Gordonsville and Orange more popular. I just don't see it here.
As you know, I'm part of a project called Colonial Circle over in Fluvanna County. We're going to do 325 residential units. I can't disclose too much, but we're negotiating with national folks to build in there, and that's what's going to happen. It's just going to go out that way unless the city figures out a way to streamline, and I don't, frankly, see that happening anytime soon.
There's too much turnover.
That's a
topic
show
for another show.
That's a show in itself, brother.
There we go.
Right, what was it? The guy that was supposed to be
Neighborhood Development Services went to Powhatan.
Didn't even
came here. The contract was not dry with his John Hancock.
Didn't even
come
here yet.
Right.
That speaks volumes.
Right.
Speaks volumes.
Speaks volumes of what's happening there.
I don't know the details of it.
Neither do I.
But
it's not a good look.
But from an optics perspective,
not a good look.
From people that work in PR, what we do from optics is important. That was like, really? And that's just crazy stuff. But I've got to sit down with the governor. With the mayor. So in mid-December.
That's awesome.
We'll have a conversation.
So, all right, why don't we close with this? Yes Realty Partners, if you're just watching the show, his new boutique brokerage in partnership with Keller Williams and Quentin Beckham. Yonna Smith, of course, very much involved.
I think we're all working for her.
Yes Realty Partners.
Yeah, YRP.
My friend.
I like that whole way that sounds, YRP.
God, the YRP looks good. Get the branding on screen if you can. It's on screen right now. How about a close with YRP?
Yeah, we're thankful people. We're thankful that we're under the watchful eye of Michael Guthrie for 8 years, and we're just thankful for everything that they've done for us. We're thankful for Quentin for agreeing to partner up with us on this. We're thankful about you guys. We're just, this is Thanksgiving. We're just utterly thankful for this opportunity, and we're just excited. As our oldest daughter said when we were up there visiting them, was asking what their opinion was. They says, Dad and Mom, just do you. We do you better than we do us better than anybody we know, and that's whatever you see here is what you get.
Yeah.
And this is what we're going to do, and we're just going to bring in some technology, some great partners, and just be servants. Take care of our clients. We're excited about it. Super excited about it.
Perfect way to close, right?
Yes, I think so. I think it's a perfect way to close. I prefer our Batman and Robin routines, but
I'm super pumped. I know it's going to be successful.
Yeah.
Yes, Realty Partners, more to come.
Yeah.
We'll leave it at that.
So it's like anything, right? You're super excited on one hand, and the other hand,
but that's natural.
If you weren't,
you'd have an issue. That's a bigger problem.
We'd have a much bigger problem.
Yeah, it's a much bigger problem. The anticipation is something that supercharges me.
There you go. You okay there, bud?
Yeah, I'm happy for you.
yeah, we're excited, but to go back, I know Yonna's on a different Zoom meeting right now. She's taking a class, so I won't get into too much trouble until she watches this later
today.
But we were on a walk today, and we were looking at some vacant lots at Lake Monticello, and
oh my gosh, you're gonna say this?
No, apparently not.
Are you going to say it?
Well, I just thought about it.
Okay.
If there's vacant lots and they need inventory, and we might start building a couple of small houses. Who knows? We'll see how it goes.
I'm excited.
Well, we got to figure out how to solve the
conundrum,
the inventory thing, and that's why the developers and stuff do this. They're going out to the other side and. I'm trying to bring in the head guy from Atlantic Builders to talk about what's going on the other side of the mountain, but we're trying to get schedules worked out because I really want to know what's going on there. And a little ending note on that. Regional Housing Partnership, I have a Zoom call here later, right after the show. We're actually bringing in and the name escapes me, but there's a regional planning area on the other side of the mountain, and we're attempting to bring them in together with the regional housing partnership.
Ooh, that's smart.
Well, it's what we're doing it's what we've been talking about on the show, and all the things we've been talking about here, because the market is going there. So, this is regional housing partnership is about housing, and if a percentage of the buyers that work in Charlottesville are living on the other side of the mountain, then we need to bring those businesses, we need to bring those planning folks, those Augusta County, Waynesboro, to the table, and just grew the table a little bit bigger, a little bit more work for the chairperson.
You don't mind?
I do not mind. It's for a great cause,
right?
And we get to share information with our viewers.
There you go.
So first of all, I also want to give a shout out to all our sponsors. I know we're out of time here, but please watch the stroll along the bottom on it, and please support these local vendors, these local businesses, and hopefully we're still fine tuning it. We're going to do a little reveal on Friday of Dairy Market. We're trying to get some technical things nailed down. We're not quite there yet.
Dairy Market, Dairy Central, Jody Mills.
Jody Mills on that end of it, and hopefully we'll be doing it live from Jody live from there. If not, it might be the following week.
Cool.
But thank you for
our pleasure.
Thank you for what you do. Thank you, Judah, Judah, for what you're doing for us. We couldn't be making this step without you guys.
Well, we're excited. We'll characterize and we will chronicle the birth of the brand on this program.
Birth of the brand, huh? Wow. Yeah, actually.
For Casual Keith.
For Casual Keith, huh?
And Judah Wickower.
Judah Wickower.
My name is Jerry Miller.
Not so casual.
I didn't get the memo.
Yeah, you didn't get the memo.
I didn't get the memo. This is Real Talk, Tuesdays and Fridays on the I Love CVille Network. You guys have a great morning.
Thanks, guys.
Christopher was fantastic.
Yeah, he was, yeah.
Good job, Christopher.